Listen, we have a great show lined up for you. I'm your host, Kim Jacobs, better known as the Balance Doctor. And all of our guests that come on, they're either people that have overcome some tremendous odds in their own lives as they balance this thing called life, or they're experts and they're here to share tips and strategies that will help you better balance and manage your life. Grab your virtual seats and let's get ready for some real relevant and relatable content on today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show, where we are bringing balance to the world, one household at a time. And guess what? Today, we're doing that with Chantrice Marshall. How are you today, Chantrice?
I'm good. How are you, Kim?
Oh, I'm doing great. And I've read your book, and it's just such a vulnerable, transparent, exposing moment that you have released in this book. And so everybody, I want you to quickly make sure you share this broadcast, share it with your friends, your coworkers. Let people know before we even get started. I want you to let people know that they don't want to miss this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. We're talking today with Chantrice Marshall, and she's going to be talking to us about, do you see me? Do you see me? Everybody has that whole cliche, do you see me? Can you see me? I see you, all of that, right? But really, do you see me? And today we're going to get the answer to that and who really needs to see you. Yeah. And you're going to learn that from Chantrice Marshall. So as we get started today, let me just make sure I'm going to do one thing on this phone because I really wanted some of your co-graduates to be a part of seeing this today, because Chantrice actually, and sometimes you can't do this stuff until the show is live, which is whole catch-22. But here's the thing. Chantrice graduated from a program on how to start your show from scratch. So she graduated from a program that I did a 6-week training on. So I'm just really excited about what God is doing already through your journey. So Welcome, Chantrice.
Thank you for having me, Kim.
Thank you for being here today. And I want to read, because I was looking at your bio, and I like right here on the back of this book, Do You See Me? Chantrice Marshall is a passionate and resilient mother, a dedicated nurse, an accomplished book author, life coach, and an aspiring actress. You don't have to be no aspiring girl. All you got to do is reach out to Tyler Perry and get in one of them roles, right?
I went to his studio. It was a blank trip, but I went.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about that. And guess what? She is a life coach. She is also her authenticity is something that really just permeates through her pores. Her compassion. When you're around her and get a chance to be in the same room with Chantrice, you feel a certain thing. People call it a vibe, but I feel like the compassion and the authenticity, as well as her unwavering determination. She lives life to the fullest and helps people transform their lives through life lessons into blessings. Yeah. I am super excited to welcome Chantrice to the Kim Jacobs Show today.
Hey, everyone.
And I love how your camera's moving in and out. It's doing the most. So kind of like you be doing the most over there. So it goes with your personality. Listen, Chantrice, when I was thinking about this, instead of just jumping right into the topic, I really wanted to know more about you as a person, because I know I've had you on the show before. You're the author of multiple books, but we're going to be highlighting this particular one today. But just take us back a little bit on your journey and what kind of brought you to the point where you are today.
So as you know, you quoted the thing. It says, it sounds good. The mother, the nurse, the book author, the life coach, but who I am as a person, I would say I'm resilient, determined. I'm a mother of 2 girls. One is 18, one is 9. I'm a woman with God. I developed my relationship higher with God through trials and tribulations of just going through what, no other women have went through as well. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I like to travel. I like to read. I like alone.
You like to write because you do that
write.
very well.
That's pretty much it. Just
Okay.
determined, very determined.
Absolutely. And when I was reading your book, well, I read both of your books, but this one in particular, Do You See Me? I felt like I was being so drawn into it, almost like it was a novel, but it's really based on real life
I
events.
know, I know. And I had so much reservation about putting that much out. So it's just like, hey, we're here now. So
Mm. Yeah, I understand. So listen, what I'm going to do is I want to, yeah, because I when I think about putting this out, the reservation associated with it, and I can personally relate because I've also gone through a divorce. So anybody that you know that's experienced a divorce, this woman today is going to really drop some knowledge and some nuggets on each and every one of you. But one of the things that I saw with your book is how considerate you were. To
yes,
me,
very
that's very
considerate.
important that people are gonna see you automatically. Y'all gonna get to see my handsome hunk of a young son walking by because he's like coming from the gym. And like people are gonna see you because I'm not gonna close my camera. So y'all will get a partial view of beauty. Sculpted beauty is what's happening. There he is, sculpted beauty. But anyway, that's a good thing to be fit, right? Fit and trim. This is as we're balancing our lives. It's pretty interesting because when we're balancing our lives, it goes really with the fact that we're balancing our lives in real time.
Yes, real time.
It's real time. And so what inspired you to write the book, Do You See Me?
I just feel like so many people can relate. I wanted to have a moment that was real, that was raw, and it just was like, it is what it is. And although I battled with how much to share, I knew that I still had to put it out. And I sat in that moment and
Mhm.
wrote in that moment, real time.
This right here is when I say real time, y'all, this is real time, real talk in this book.
And there
So
was so much more that I didn't put in the book. So,
easily.
yeah.
Anybody that is dealing with the difficulty associated with going through a divorce, you want to grab a copy of this book, Do You See Me? Because it puts it into perspective that you can make it, you're going to be okay. Just go through the process and trust the process that God has as you're navigating this new season of your life. So, Do You See Me is something that you want to have a copy of in your library, but not just to put it on a bookshelf. I have a lot of books that I've put on a bookshelf, Chantrice, but I haven't read them all. So, I'm like, I'm not about to buy another book until I read the ones I have. In
Mhm.
this case, when I got yours, I read through it and I immediately felt like, wow, this is almost like a twin of mine here.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
speaking directly to me.
yeah.
Was that your
And that's the
intention?
Yeah, and that's the point about being real in the moment. Is just like so many people can relate. I think when we go back and try to filter things, it becomes unrelatable. And I think that it's not for only anyone that's going through a divorce, but for someone that's just going through a dark season, they just don't know what's on the other side.
That's good. And I love how you kind of you go through even the different phases of grief because
Yeah.
it could be people that have had loss from losing a loved one, losing a job, losing a lot of different things because loss
Hmm.
is loss.
It
And
is.
when it's
It is.
happening, you broke that down. I highlighted some of the pages, but what you said shock and denial was these are the stages of grief, pain and guilt, anger and bargaining, depression and loneliness, the upward turn,
Mhm.
reconstruction and working together, and then acceptance and hope. When you were writing this book, what phase do you feel you were in when you were in the mode of writing?
Ooh, shock and denial. Then it went to acceptance.
Mm,
Most of the book was written while I was in it. Then the end part was written when I was out of it. So I had
yes.
to go back and like I don't feel that same feeling
Mm,
anymore.
mm,
So
mm.
it's like, but I still want to keep the rawness, but then I want to write also from a point of me being on the other side to give other people hope.
That's good because I'm actually in the process of writing several books that I've been
Mhm.
writing for years.
Okay.
Every time I pick the book up and start writing, I get like 50 something pages done. And then because of where I am in that moment, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna stop and then the next year on the anniversary date or something, I'll start back again.
Mm-hmm.
But the book has to eventually get out, even though you
Yeah.
might be walking through some of the pain and trauma you've personally experienced.
Mm-hmm.
What do you encourage authors or aspiring authors to do? Because you're gonna be helping me even in this case, because I've been a part of 5 books at this point that
Mm-hmm.
are out, international bestsellers and all of that stuff on Amazon. But there are some more books in me. So what advice would you give me and other people watching today to get the books out?
Just do it.
I knew
Just
you
do
were gonna
it.
say that.
Because I get so many people that come up to me to just be like, how did you do it? How long did it take? Just do it. My first book, I have been trying to write that for years and years. It came from thoughts of just like generational curses, this, and just observing other people, then observing myself. And it's just like when I just did it, it's like, okay, let's go for book number 2. Now it's like, okay, let's go for book number 3. So some, people come up to me like, how and when did you start? Just do it.
Mhm.
Just do it.
Well, that's a big philosophy of mine as well. And that's hence 5 different books that I've been a part of. One, when I was on NBC, I did a compilation of all of the tips that I would share to different families when I would do
Mm-hmm.
balanced makeovers. But it was just do it, Kim. Just get it out there and do it. So
And,
that's the perfect advice.
and then I have people come up to me and say, well, if I was to put my life story in a book, it would be unbelievable that people wouldn't believe what I went through. And it's like, write it so people can see through that and people can relate, because so many people are going through the same thing. And so it's just like, don't be afraid to be vulnerable, because that's what I battled with in the beginning. It's like, I don't know if I want to put this out here. It's
Right.
just like,
Okay.
but
And
once you
so
do it, you feel free.
you do. You find like, yes, it's very liberating. I can't
Mm-hmm.
imagine when you finally got this book, Do You See Me, out into the atmosphere. It had to
Mm-hmm.
be almost like a weight lifted off of you, or was it? Or
It
what did you feel?
was. It was. It was a weight lifted. But then I'm gonna be honest, I had moments where I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I shouldn't have. But was like, no, that was the enemy trying to whisper things to me. But no, it was very relieving, because I went through so much trying to get it out. Like the first book was a quicker process. With this, it kind of took me longer because I was going through this in real time and in real moments, and I had to stop for a couple months, then I had to pick the pen back up, then I had to feel those emotions again when I talked about it. And it was just like, no, then I went on a fast, and it was like, no, keep going.
Yeah, I read about that. I wrote that down on page 25. When you went through your 21-day fast, that's when you experienced the most attacks. Why do
Oh
you think that
yeah.
was the case?
Oh my goodness. I'm fasting right now.
Okay.
So it's a love-hate relationship with fasting.
Yeah.
It really is, because anything that you think that you're over, anything that you are running from, anything that you need something to be revealed, good or bad, it's gonna come from fasting. Like I never knew how powerful fasting was.
Right. Yeah, fasting can definitely bring some results. Some
Yeah,
things that I know when I've turned my plate down and I've been intentional with God about, God, I need this thing to happen.
yeah,
Then he's like, finally, I got your attention.
yes,
Because now that isn't your God. You don't have to have that thing that you keep feeling like you have to nourish your soul. I
yeah,
can nourish your soul.
yeah, yeah.
That's good. That was good. So during that time, I wanted to ask people, everybody as well. The question that I have for you all in the studio audience is, have you ever felt unseen? And I want you to type in the comments section a time that you felt unseen and you were actually trying to be seen, but for whatever reason, it was like, can anybody not see me around here? What am I,
Mm-hmm.
a dog meat? I'm trying my best to be
Right,
seen, but I'm not
right,
being seen.
right.
So we've all experienced that. Why do you think so many people feel unseen, Chantrice?
Uh, I think because they're not sharing. They're not sharing. A lot of people keep a lot of stuff in. You can pretty much walk in a room and tell who's healed and unhealed, and who's
True.
deflecting on somebody else's life to take away from the things that they're going through. You could sit around people and it's like, oh, this person. And then it's like, if I look deep within you, I could see all the brokenness.
Mhm.
Like, I don't have room to talk about nobody else's life. So you really can it's like once you feel unseen, you'll do anything to be seen. And sometimes that's negative.
That's right. That's so oh God, girl, you're gonna have me over here slain in the spirit. Right there is so true. Because you can, like you said, if you're not able to take your mask off and be true to who God has you to be in a situation and share some level of transparency, that I definitely don't have all of the answers to everything. And I don't even need to act like I do. I don't. That's why you have to bring other experts in and surround yourself with people that do have those particular answers, you know?
Right.
So then that way it doesn't matter about whether you're seen or not, what needs to be accomplished is being accomplished. The goal is being accomplished.
Right. Right.
So your goal with this particular book that you've written, which is Do You See Me? What is your objective and what do you hope people walk away with?
Walking away knowing that you can pretty much overcome anything if you're intentional about doing the work. Like it's really all about doing the work.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then y'all, some of the work is heavily laid out in this book. So she can't go through every detail because then that's going to defeat the purpose of you getting the book. But what I will tell you, how do people get your book? I know they can get it on Amazon because I can see that. But how do they get an autographed copy of the book from you?
You could purchase at www.queenchantrice.com. And when you purchase, I'll sign the book and mail it off to you.
At Queen Chantrice. Okay. Okay. And on Instagram, you are Queen Chantrice?
Yes, Queen_Chantrice.
Underscore. I knew it was something in there. Underscore Chantrice. Okay. And then you can purchase the book at queenchantrice.com, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I want to make sure that we put this up here, how you can actually purchase the book, especially if you want an autograph copy. Go to Queen Chantrice, and that's CHANTRICE for our audio podcast listeners.com. queenchantrice.com. And you can follow her on Instagram at Queen_Chantrice. But you definitely want to get a copy, an autograph copy. It'll come in a nice gold foiled bag. I was like, I still got my wrapping. I was like,
gold is my favorite color. Gold is my favorite color.
Is it? Gold is why? Why gold?
It's just it makes me feel happy inside. Like I love the color gold. Anything gold is like I'm buying it. I love gold.
I didn't even know that about you. And you went through a whole 6-week training of mine. So that's so important to be able to see people the way they need to be seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because how did I, and this is just me talking here, how did I not know that? And you went through a whole 6-week training with me. That's going to make me do some things differently with my new students.
Okay.
Yeah. Because gold is your favorite color. And I didn't know that.
That was a while ago, though. I think was that one of the questions you asked? I'm not sure. You may.
No, that's the point. I didn't ask it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So as a result of
I know you
this
asked
conversation,
something with color, like what would our background or something be? I know you asked.
Oh, I did ask. Oh, thank you.
Okay. And I think I
done let girl. You done let your trainer off the hook, right? You're like, I'm not gonna throw you under the bus, Kim. I'll give you a chance to just redeem yourself. So in this book, it gets really deep, and I took some specific notes, but you really go through the fact of never in a million years moments that you really highlight in this book.
Yeah.
And some of the hardships you've personally experienced.
Mm-hmm.
To whatever level you feel comfortable, take us on somewhat of a journey through what you personally went through that brought you to the point of having to write this book.
Okay, let's go back. I would say, divorce, when you get married, it's for better or for worse. So when you have that never in a million years would I experience this, and this, and it's like, okay, God, it's too much for me. So I surrender. Like whatever you want to happen, you can happen. It can happen. You can have it. Like whatever you need from me, I'll do it. So I think that we all have our life planned out. So when you lose control over that, it's like, okay, I ain't as strong as I thought.
Yeah. I love how you interview also as a guest, because you make a point and then we kind of keep it going. And and every time you make a point, it's a point that is like just sticking right to me, because I feel like this is probably one of the better conversations I can have, because I'm having it with somebody that I feel the same way. I thought what this is going to be. This is going to be my plan. This is what I thought was going to be the outcome based on how life is supposed to be. But things happen in ways that are unforeseen to us. And how do we handle it then? So in your case, we have children. We have children. And I know that sometimes when you're experiencing divorce, it doesn't just impact us, it impacts our children.
It does.
So talk about that. You and your daughters.
It was a change for them. I noticed a change with them going through that. It definitely affected everyone. But I was intentional as well about doing the work with them. You know, I had to give them grace as well. You know, you sometimes realize like, oh, you're a kid, you're supposed to, but they're supposed to feel as well and see as well. So it's like, okay, we're out of this now. It's a new environment. Now let me do some things different. So I would say like spending more time with them, spending one-on-one time with them. I created a tradition where I do 3 vacations a year, where I do one with my oldest daughter, one with my youngest daughter, and then we do one where all 3 of us together.
That's good.
Just
so you do that again. You do one with all 3 of you together, one vacation with your youngest daughter, and one vacation with your oldest daughter.
Yes. So last year it was Cancun with my oldest daughter. With my youngest daughter, it was Disney World. And then all 3 of us did Myrtle Beach. And then this year, me and my youngest daughter did LA. But me and my oldest daughter haven't done one yet because she's in school. So,
and then this is going to, I'm sure, cause a little bit of a sticking point, because I know that the children may feel like, oh, I know she's not going to Cancun and I'm not. So how do you deal with that?
It's pretty much a preference of theirs. Yeah.
So whatever place they decide is going to be their ultimate vacation, that's where you all make it happen.
My youngest daughter, we watch a lot of TV together. Like we'll binge watch All American. She's like, I've never been to LA. I want to see this. I want to see Slauson. And I'm just like, okay, we'll do LA this year. And that's what we did.
You should have told me. Now, see, I love All American too. Are they doing any more seasons? I know we sidetrack.
I know I haven't watched this season 7 yet. So
come on, you missed girl.
It just came out on Netflix a while ago, but I've just been so busy. I haven't got a chance to binge watch that one, but I love All American. She does too. So it's like, okay.
Yeah. That's funny because that's the only time I get to watch something. Like I was telling somebody, my TV hasn't been on for like a couple of months because I have to be very intentional when I sit down. If I'm going to sit down and watch something, I'll carve out the time and set an appointment and binge watch it type of thing versus because most of my news and stuff will pop on my phone as a news break or a feed or something that I'll keep up to date with what's going on in the world that way. But I'm very intentional when I'm sitting down and like enjoying a show and eating some, you know?
Yeah. Yes.
So see, we can hang out, Chantrice. But listen, for you all that's tuning in right now, we're talking with Chantrice Marshall, and I love how she has written this book, which is Do You See Me? A lot of times we feel unseen in life, and she's taken the time to break down some of the hardships she's experienced in life and how they impacted her. How do you feel like that particular season in your life help you build more resilience and faith and even self-worth? Because when you're going through divorce, sometimes your self-worth is hindered.
After all the bad things, I turned around and did the work to make it good things.
Okay.
Like even though I was sitting in that broken marriage and awful moment, I wrote my first book. I became a life coach. I was attending women's events, so it's like I was in therapy.
Right.
And then when I got out, I continued to do those things. So
that's good.
I didn't feel the need to turn to things that are world. You know, I'm so glad that God caught me in that moment, so I wouldn't be bitter, so I wouldn't party and sleep with men and be around a bad influence of women, you know. So I was very intentional about doing the work in the moment, no matter how I felt.
I love that. I love that. And I commend you for that, because there are so many different choices of things that we can cling on to in the middle of our transitions, but being careful to make a conscious decision. This ain't how I'm rolling. Right. Whatever life has to bring, I'm not rolling like this, you know?
Yeah.
That's good. I really admire that in you. And I've taken the same type of stance going through a divorce as well. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, but sometimes I think, and please, I don't know if it applies to you or not, but sometimes I think I'm being too premature with some things. I'm like, and I'm not doing this and I'm not, and everybody like, did I even ask you for this? What is going on?
It makes you kind of guarded because once you know that person, you like, okay, I'm building this person up. I'm not letting anyone dictate, break, nothing. So you can't even get that close to me.
Wow. Yeah, but you know, and it's interesting because we don't want to have such a high wall that nobody feels like they can even penetrate the wall and get through to say, "Hey, I'm out here. I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
make a connection with you," but you're not fully healed, so therefore you can't even accept what's being offered here. Is what I
Right,
think
right.
some people have happened.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
But okay, so as you're dealing with going through your divorce, one of the things that I like that you did is honored the fact that there are three parts to every story. Can you
Yes,
talk
they
about
are.
that?
Yeah. Just because I have my part, he may have his part, then it may be a person in the middle that say, hey, I understand both persons' point of view, but in realistically, this is what it is. So I think you got to be open to that. Some people are not open to other people's opinions, feedbacks, moral values. They don't want to be accountable. They don't want to be corrected. Like, I'm open to learning. I love to learn. I
Yes.
love to debate. I love to hear things from other people's point of view. Some people are not like that.
Yeah. I've had some people when I've talked to them, we've had some hard conversations, and I tell the people I actually welcome that. So it's fine because
Hmm.
that makes me a better person. I'll
Yeah.
take notes on what they're saying because I want to be better. Who
Yeah.
doesn't want to be a better version of themselves?
Right. It's like, how
So
can
it
you
helps.
grow? you know?
Right. Because I'm never going to evolve. Well, I shouldn't say that. Woman evolve. I do think that we should be always ever learning and ever growing and ever developing. And so I think that life teaches us through our own hardships how to further evolve is probably the best thing that I could think to say, you know?
Yeah.
So now looking back from your perspective, how did that chapter in your life actually help shape who you are in your opinion today, especially from an author's perspective?
Um, oh, it kind of made me resilient.
Yeah.
Resilient, very resilient. It kind of made me more understanding to people because I feel like everyone is going through something.
Yes. Yeah, everyone is going through something. And
Mhm.
so people that are going through different types of hardship, again, we're talking about divorce, but it doesn't have to be divorce. It could
Yeah,
be
it
some other
doesn't have to
hardship.
be like
It's-
everything is for a reason. Everything
Mhm.
that people do is for a reason. So it kind of makes you be a little bit more understanding to where um, I can see what you did, but then I know it's something behind what you did.
Right. So that gives you a little bit more grace, right?
It does. It does.
Because
My grace
sometimes,
can sometimes be just leaving you right where you are and not dealing with you.
right.
Sometimes my grace can be praying for you. Sometimes my grace can be just giving you a little bit of advice, but regardless of what the grace is,
Mm,
it's something deeper.
yes.
Yeah.
But you recognize that even before you start dealing with the other person or the people,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
because of that, then you're like graced to give grace. It's like,
Hmm.
this definitely is the enemy using you.
Yeah.
But you don't
My
have
new
to tell the
thing is
person that.
like it's a you thing. That's what I say. Like, that's a you thing.
Mhm.
Regardless of what you say and how you feel about me, that's a you thing. That has nothing to do with me. You're trying to push that off on me. It has nothing to do with me.
Do you say it like that too with your facial expression?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
You're
other
like,
people, it will weigh you down. You
they
know,
will.
it will weigh you down. So it's just like, I can't. Once you gone through something like that and you literally had to work for your peace and work for your healing, nobody can come in between that. Nobody.
I'm glad you're saying this. Listen, everybody, we're talking to Chantrice Marshall. We're talking, she's the author of Do You See Me? Many times we feel unseen, unheard, not considered. Our feelings aren't even factored into the equation. And it's a serious thing that can cause quite a bit of discontentment, and it can make you feel broken. broken into a lot of different pieces. I had today, this morning, Chantrice, I was full of peace, joy, happiness. Spent yesterday after I got out of church, laying beside my mom and just didn't do much of anything for like hours on hand because I was like, we need to just de-stress sometimes and just be here how my mom needs me to be here, even though her room was very hot. And I was like, I feel like a mummy, like I've been just sucking on a desert or something. I was so dehydrated, but it made her so happy, right? She felt seen. And it was some things she was going through that she needed to be seen. But how we see each other and how we need to be seen is different. So how do we see people the way they need to be seen?
I always say that people see you through their own lens, like regardless of how you grow. Like I may be the same old person to other old people because they see me through that lens. But people that just meeting me, they see me through a different lens. Like the older people, they haven't acknowledged the growth, the healing, the different person. And sometimes you just have to step away so people can see you from a different lens. Like I can't continue to sit in front of you knowing that the lens that you see me through is the old version of me.
Woo. So how do you do that without throwing the people away? Because at the end of the day, it's like, the word talks about shaking the dust off your feet and just going about your business if you're not received. So how do you, from your perspective as being an author of Do You See Me and even Breaking Generational Curses, the book that you wrote as well about that, how do you recommend people do that without fully ending all relationships? Because like, no, you back in the day, bye.
The honest truth is something you probably are going to have to do that. It's just accepting that you're a different person. And if you're different, everything and everyone can't go. So sometimes distance, and sometimes the distance may not be permanent. And sometimes with certain people, it may be permanent. But it's not a good feeling when people view you through those lens of the person that you used to be. It's kind of draining. You know how people can go in an environment and it's like, oh, they're bringing up the past and this and that. And it's like, I don't want to hear that. I'm not that person no more. So I cannot relate to what you're saying. So it's like the only way for me to protect my peace and protect the new version that I work so hard to be is by distance.
That's good. Yeah. Oh, that's so good. I know sometimes I'll even bring up my own past, right? Because our past, when we're talking about marriage and different things, it's our story too. It's a part of, it's like I try to share a story without involving sometimes the other person. And it's like, what?
But sometimes
Almost
people
30
would
some years
dwell
of your
on
life.
that.
Huh?
Sometimes people would dwell on that.
Right. Yeah. And so dwelling on it is definitely not a good thing in my opinion. But sometimes the point I was getting ready to make is sometimes I'll say something and I'll realize this person don't even know what I'm talking about at all because they see me from the new lens of life versus knowing my backstory or whatever the case may be. So then it's like now I'm pulling everybody into stuff that I didn't even need to pull them into.
Right.
Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah. Yeah. But also distance. I'm just big on my peace. Like
I can tell you like, no, not that often. Cause I'm like, you see me from those glasses. I need you to see me from these new glasses. Right.
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm really big on anything that does not feel good or I just can't. Or
Well,
it's
how
gonna
has that
me.
served you as far as how has that help you accomplish your goals, your daughter's goals? How does that work for you? Because that's going to definitely sever a lot of people that were possibly in your past.
I think that when you go through that isolation season, it's easier. It's easier. When you go through moments where it just has to be you and God, when it has to just be you and your thoughts and anything. So it's just like, it may affect it. It may offend people, but if you're putting yourself first, you just have to do what you have to do.
That's good.
And in due
Okay. So
time,
your peace comes first. Your peace.
And in due time, everything will work itself out.
Okay.
Like the people that are meant to be will be, and the people that you have to love from a distance, you just have to love them from a distance.
But so you don't get many crinkles in your forehead because you look like you real relaxed over there. You like, no, you just love them from a distance. You're being very
Well,
mad.
you know what? I'm gonna be honest. It's easier said than done. It's
It
hurtful.
is.
It's very. I'm not gonna sit up here and say that it's just like, oh, okay, no. It's very hurtful. It's very hurtful. It's very lonely. Um, I just think it's something that we all have to go through to grow. That's if you want to grow, you know. Certain areas are just not going to serve you anymore.
That's good. That's good. I see some studio audience comments. Evangelist Clara Walton is on, and she said, Amen. Yes, many times I have felt unseen, but God knew it's to see me at all times, and I was able to move forward with his plans for my life. So how do you want to speak to that? That'd be a good, because I know I saw some stuff in your book pertaining to God's plans versus your plans.
Yeah. Surrendering. Sometimes God's plan is hard, it's lonely, it's tears, it's, and you know, you don't understand why you're going through it.
Right.
I think that when you lose control over your life and you surrender and you know that God has full control over your life, why wouldn't you want to get close to the person that has control over your life?
That's good. I
It's like
agree.
I don't have control over my life. God has control of it. So why not? We about to be best friends.
Good.
I
That's right.
surrender. Like, okay.
Well, I love the fact that you're saying that, because once we know that we don't belong to ourselves, then it makes it
Mhm.
easier for us to be able to surrender and to say,
Yes.
okay, God, not my will, but your will be done. Let
Yep.
your will be done.
Yep.
So that's a
And
good thing.
that's hard. Like if you I want control over my life. Like I really do. But I don't. So, you know.
And that's why it goes back to Jeremiah 29:11, where he says, I know the plans that I have for you, and they're good plans, and they're plans for us to prosper, and they're not plans that are evil for us. They're going to work out in our best interest in some capacity, in some way. But we
Right.
have to do what you said on page 53. Yeah, page 53, all things work together for good to those who seek the Lord. And that was in Romans 8:28. So understanding that scripture is easier said than done,
Very
especially when
easier said
we are
than done.
going or have gone through a divorce.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So how did you apply that scripture when you were going through that hardship?
I don't think I did. I did. I'm gonna be honest. I was angry. I was a lot of angry in that moment. If we're being honest, I didn't. It sounded good. People were telling me that, but I just couldn't see that this is gonna work out for my good. I couldn't. It was awful. It was very awful sitting in that.
And everybody has advice when you're going through.
They
I've
do.
never received so much advice. I was like, I don't even want all of this advice. Okay. I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to breathe. I'm trying to figure this thing out. And here it's like just constant. I don't think you should do this. I don't think you should do this. I say you do this. It's like, okay, you know what? God, intervene and help us out. Because
Mm-hmm.
I need you
Mm-hmm.
to help me in this moment. Is
Yeah.
that how you were feeling too?
Yeah, I just feel like if you wasn't married, you couldn't give me any advice. Like I'm not that person that you could just come up to and talk to me about my personal business because it's like I didn't tell you that. Who told you that? And it just was like nobody approached me really going through that. It was whispers, but it's like in that moment, coming talking to me about my business. No.
Oh, well, I'm talking. If you have some family that you feel comfortable talking with, then I have.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about it because I didn't even know what that was, what I was going through. So just if you wasn't married, I didn't need your advice.
You funny.
If you wasn't married, like I only talk directly to married women.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, well, y'all heard it right here on the Kim Jacobs show. If you weren't married, then Chantrice is like, save it, basically. That's what she was saying. Because she
Yeah.
didn't need the advice. She needed to figure out what was going on in her life. And so, and you figured it out well by getting it released in your book, Do You See Me? Let's see. Charmaine Thompson said, the reason why people feel unseen is low social, psychological, low self-esteem, or social anxiety. Do you
I agree with that.
agree?
That's good. That's good. I like what you said with social anxiety. I think I have social anxiety. Yeah.
Social anxiety. That's interesting. I hadn't thought about it from that perspective. And
Yeah.
I actually, is because I'm also a pastor. Now it's an interesting dynamic because I'm always around people in some regard in a social capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's like having to unplug and say, you know what? This is going to be my carved out private time is
Mm-hmm.
is also important. Yeah. So Charmaine, great point. Great point. Thank you all. Thank you, Evangelist Walton, for your comments. And y'all keep your comments coming, because this gives us some more things that we can talk about during this hour with Chantrice Marshall, who is the author of Do You See Me? And it's a game changer. It's a game changer, because she's not just venting in this book, but she's also giving you some solutions on how to trust the process and go through the process and get the healing that you need. Now, are you a therapist? Because you speak in a therapist language throughout your book too.
Me? Oh my goodness. I wish that I was. No, just certified life coach.
Certified life coach. Well, you are dropping some significant wisdom in this book, and it's something that different therapists, like on Psychology Today in different places, they should put this in their office to be able to hear what your thoughts on it from a real life experience situation. Because a lot of times people are giving book advice, but until you've gone through it and you got to the other side of it, can you really help somebody in that regard, you know?
Right.
And one of the things I do want us to harp on a little bit more is that our children, in our case, we both have children, they grieve as well. The whole marriage is a loss for them.
They do.
So what grace do we need to show children that are dealing with divorce situations? Any advice?
Probably be more patient with your tone, more patient with the punishment. But it can't last too long, but you do need to give grace. It can't last too long, but yeah, I didn't know how bad it affected my kids until I was out of it. Yeah.
That's good to know, because same here. I didn't know until I was out of it, mainly because you're going through it and you're dealing with it, and you're like, I got to keep my own sanity, talking about helping somebody else. So you can't pour, as many people already know, you can't pour from an empty cup. You have to pour from an overflow situation. And when your cup is empty, it's like you're in the picture frame. You can't see how other people are even being impacted in those scenarios. So I love the fact that you address that in your book. So again, if you all don't have a copy of this book, Do You See Me by Chantrice Marshall, you want to get a copy of it. And there's also on her page, you can learn more about her as an author, as a speaker, as a mother, and what she has to offer through her website. And her website that I've expressed already is queenchantrice.com. queenchantrice.com. So when people are going through becoming an author, even there are some people that just desire to become an author, but they've had some life experiences that are discouraging them. What advice? I know you said just do it. Any thought or tips on what you can share with people that would help them really get to the other side of that mountain?
So example, I had someone say that they would love to write their life story, but they don't want to use names. They don't want to bring up old trauma. They don't want to involve other people. They don't want to hurt other people by their story. So my advice will be to still write it, but maybe use different characters, because you have to set yourself free. Like, you can't continue to sit on that pain. And if it's coming to you with revelation on to write a book about it, then that's for a reason. So whichever way that you have to go with writing that book, maybe using different names, different characters, but I would say release it in due time.
I love that too, because there are a lot of people I know I can only speak for myself, that I've been so concerned about how I say, what I say, make sure I want to always be mindful of everyone, even if it's somebody that I don't like, you know what I mean? Or not that I don't like, because I actually love everybody, but that don't like me is what I meant to say, because I don't like everybody, don't get me wrong, but I do love all of God's people. And that's even people that I may not like, God still loves them. So who am I to determine that they shouldn't be loved? You understand?
Right.
Just because of an incident. So I'm always trying to be very mindful of how my story intertwines with somebody else's story and the impact it can have on them.
Right. Yeah.
Is that what you recommend people do in these situations?
Yeah, because you don't want the book to bring more harm than purpose.
Right.
So that's what that's what I was convicted of at the end. Like, oh no, for me, writing from a place of still in it and writing for me a place out of it, I had to change a lot. Not a lot, but I had to, take some stuff out. Like, ooh, girl, you sound bitter. Like, ooh, oh no, you're not there anymore. Like, this don't even deserve any attention. This doesn't even deserve to be brought up anymore. So it was
That's good.
such a good moment for me to go through it while still being in it, and then versus being healed. Like, oh yeah, no, we're not even gonna talk about that. That sounds shady. That sounds bitter. Like, we're not there anymore. We're not
I
doing that.
love it.
And the Holy Spirit was convicting me of that as well. Like, nope, that's not what I told. That's not what we're here for. We're here for um, to be the shadow of healing purpose, that you don't have to be bitter after a divorce. You don't have to be sitting brokenness because you're in a dark season, that you know that you can overcome anything if you're intentional about putting the work in.
That's
If you're
good. And that's
intentional
what I feel
about your
throughout.
isolation season. Like, sometimes the Holy Spirit will be nudging at us that, like, it's time for growth, it's time for you to change, and we'll miss our moment. Like, I'm glad that I didn't miss my moment, and that bitterness didn't overshadow, because I never wanted to be that angry Black woman that just everywhere she goes, she just into it with somebody, cussing and fussing. I did not want to be that. Like, that's my worst fear. So I'm like, if I have to sit down, if I have to be celibate, if I have to do therapy, if I have to forgive people that deserve not to be forgiven, if I have to forgive without a genuine apology, then that's what I'm going to do, because I don't want to be that. I don't want to block my blessings. I don't want to sit in it, because forgiveness is personal. That's
Yes, it is.
strictly for me. Like, I'm not going to allow anyone to block my blessings. So it's like, it's either now or never. What are you
That's,
going to do?
that's good. I fully endorse. That's like a public service announcement, everyone. Everything that Chantrice Marshall just said, I fully endorse it. That we are not about to be bitter at any phase of our
No.
journey. As much as we can get on the other side of it. I shared a message called bitter, not bitter, better. Not
Yes.
bitter.
Let's
Let's
be
get
better
better.
women. Yes.
And that's
Yes.
so necessary for us as women to
Mm-hmm.
figure out, even if we can get resources like this, how we can get better instead of
Yes.
dwelling and waddling in bitterness, because it
Yes.
doesn't serve anybody. So
Mm-hmm.
you talk about a faith walk and how important it is to have complete trust and confidence in God's process. I would love for you to just talk a little bit more about the faith walk, and yeah, and ultimately how I do see you. I do see you, girl. I see you. People, when they say that, they saying it in a dating nasty. I see you. I
Mm-hmm.
see you seeing me. I see,
Right. Right.
but that's not the kind of seeing you talking about. So talk
Faith
about it.
walk. Ooh. You say you want to know what about it?
Oh, I was just saying here in the faith walk, you said it's hard to put trust or faith into the unknown. It
It
feels like
is.
relying on an imaginary friend to save you when you're drowning. The uncertainty makes it difficult to let go and believe. But in order for us to really be healed and seen, then you have to have some level of faith.
You
What kind
do.
of faith walk did you have as you were going through your healing process?
My faith was just like, why am I going through this? Like, how is this working for my good? Yeah, that's a scripture, but it's not. So I think we all have to build our own faith muscle. And you can't build that by not going through things, not going through the darkness, not going through the unknown. Like, faith is a individual base.
Right,
Like, somebody can tell me, oh yeah, I went through this, I had no faith, and I had faith of a mustard seed, and this
right.
happened. But it's like, I have to go through it in my own. So once just going through that and getting on the other side and see that it did work for my good, now I have more faith to go through the next thing in life and the next thing.
Yes, and God equips us with everything we need, and He won't put more on us than we can handle or even and bear. So if we're dealing with it for some kind of reason, we're able to handle it. We
And
can.
it does feel unbearable when you're going through it. It feels very unbearable.
Absolutely. Yes, other people's story can. Okay, yes, yes. I see you. Ms. J's Unfiltered Talk Show and Podcast. You said yes, other people's stories can be a personal breakthrough for you. Yes, it can. And I
It
see you, queen.
can. I read a lot of books before, while going through it. Like I read Arnetta's book about her going through her divorce, and that was
Right.
very good. I used to watch a lot of podcasts, a lot of interviews, and everything was just like motivating. Like I stayed in my lane. Like I think people need to stay in their lane, whatever you're going through, to pour into yourself. So mine was just self-help books, podcast interviews, sermons, like for anybody that went through it that can show me the way and how to overcome it. It does make it easier when you're using somebody else's life as a guide. It does.
Yeah, I did the same thing, Chantrice. I would lay in the bed and I was like by myself. I'm like, I need some help. And my counselor is not available as often as I need the help. I'm talking about, I need you get on this phone now. Do you see me calling? And don't get me wrong, my counselor is incredible. So I believe, first of all, that everybody should have some level of counseling, even if it's a maintenance, not because just something's wrong. But what I did do was I looked at a lot of, I just did a Google search and ended up finding this YouTube channel filled with stuff that I personally had just gone through. And it became almost like a counseling session for me. I was like, oh, that's me. What happened? What was your answer? How did you deal with that?
Right. How did you get through, girl? Yeah.
Yeah. And it helped me.
So important for women to share their stories.
Well, I'm glad that you shared your story and Do You See Me, because I feel like you're my girlfriend and we're just chatting and we could talk a whole lot much deeper. But one thing I really admire, and tell me if I'm wrong, because I read the book, you don't mention his, and we're not going to do it on the show since you didn't do it in the book, but you didn't mention his name. Did I miss that?
No, I would never do that. We share showers together.
You know you're doing something whenever you can go and write a whole book. What? How many pages was in this book? 92 pages in this book, y'all. And she is telling her story. I'm talking about like pouring her soul out in this book with some deep, dark, secret stuff in here. And not one time mention dude.
Yeah. And that's when you know that you're better and not bitter. Yeah. But yeah, I wouldn't do that. We share a child and it's just like, we're not in that space no more. I'm on the other side of forgiveness. He has his life, I have my life, and it's no need to.
Yes, I love this. I love it because I'm a big believer too, Chantrice, that, well, at least this is what I told my ex-husband, is no way that I want us to have you have a baby shower. And then after you're done and cleared the room, I'll rent the same room and have a baby shower, or you have a wedding. And then when y'all get done with the wedding, we'll come and do the wedding, or you have a funeral. It's like, are you kidding me? Can't we just all get along?
Right.
We have these people that we're going to be with for the rest of life. Whatever phase of life you're in, come on, you and all your people. It doesn't find all y'all can come on. Your baby mama, whoever, it doesn't matter. Just all come together so we can serve the common good of those individuals that are impacted. Does that make sense?
Yep. But that comes with maturity. That comes with
What'd you say?
That comes with maturity.
Yeah.
And that's the thing of not sitting in your pain and trauma, because the only person that affects is you. So you have to make the choice of like, do I want to sit here forever in this space, in this dark cloud? And it's like, no, it's so much life out here. There's so much life out here.
So now you also wrote the book, I'm Not Cursed. And look at you with your gold headpiece on. Gold, baby, gold. I'm Not Cursed, or Am I? That's another book that Chantrice Marshall wrote as well. And what did you want readers to walk away with reading this book?
Oh, this is my first baby, my first book. I want people to acknowledge their generational curses, because we all have them.
All of us.
We all have them. I want you to acknowledge it. I want you to do the work to change it. It's so many people that's just like, this is who I am. This is what it is. And then there's so many people that don't even know, like they are not aware. It's like, you don't see the patterns. you don't see the people that raised you. You don't see the mistakes you're making now as a parent. Like,
Right, right.
you're walking through life with like blind, just living in the moment. So I want people to acknowledge what their generational curses are and try to change it. But although this generation are really good at doing better than what we was raised as, there's so many people that are not.
Right.
You know,
Wow.
people who
You
are doing the work to do counseling, do life coaching. TikTok is so popular with people telling their stories and overcoming and saying that, oh yeah, I'm doing this different with my kids. Like, I love those type of videos, but it's some people that will watch those videos, scroll, and just like, oh,
they
that's you,
just
not me. This is how I was raised, so this is how I'm doing it. So
hmm.
um, I think that book is very relatable. Very relatable.
Very, very good. And it is very relatable because it makes you think differently about what is even a curse? What
Right.
does this curse look like? How do
Mhm.
we see it from a different set of lenses? Because sometimes we don't even know that it is a curse because it's normal to us.
Yes,
So
it's
we don't, how do you
normal.
even know that it's a curse that needs
Hmm.
to be broken, you know?
Yeah, so many our people are sitting in those patterns and those ways, and some of the stuff are strong codes. Like, the
Mm,
enemy really does have a strong code on people,
that's
and it's
right.
just like only prayer can get you out of that cycle. So if
Um,
you're living a life without God and a life without prayer, then that's really going to be the results.
That's good. That's good that you're highlighting that in your book.
Hmm.
Both of your books, I think it really speaks to generational curses because how you were talking about Do You See Me? And dog, I really wanted my marriage to work. I wanted it to last. It was what I thought was going to
Hmm.
happen. And still, if you look at your family, I'm not gonna go through every part of the book because you got to get the book, y'all. The book, I mean, it's gonna be like you don't want to put it down. So grab a copy of Do You See Me by Chantrice Marshall, and also while you're getting a book, go ahead and get I'm Not Cursed or Am I by Chantrice Marshall, and make sure that you share it, even if you're not dealing with divorce, but someone else that you know is. Gift them a copy because they will be blessed. And you can stay connected with Chantrice right on Instagram at queen_Chantrice. And then you can go to her website, queenchantrice.com. So what's next for you? I see some stuff like magazine covers and stuff going on with you.
What's next? I would love to do my third book.
Okay.
Um, I'm looking into taking some acting classes before the end of the year.
Okay.
I want to continue to network and just continue to push both books, and whatever God has for me, I'm ready to walk into it.
Well, I think that whatever you choose to do, Queen, you're going to accomplish it with
Yeah.
some level of ease or grace because God has graced you to get past these obstacles and issues in your life to be able to share your story and help other people get to the other side. And the lady that's been commenting today, I want to put it up here that she is also going to be on the Kim Jacobs show. And so make sure you tune in for a special episode this evening with her, and
Okay.
that you may be watching it as a replay later. Don't worry about the date if you're watching it as a replay and it's not on this date that's on the screen, but get this information. Navigating Life's Challenges with Charmaine Thompson. She's going to be on the Kim Jacobs show for a special episode at a special time. Whew,
Okay.
this has been very helpful. Okay, let's see. We're almost at the conclusion here, but I do want to take a moment to let you all know that we have our 10th annual 5K walk with Gabe's Heart Foundation, where every heartbeat counts. And we're going to keep Gabe's heart beating by continuing to raise funds for defibrillators to be put in public spaces where young people congregate. Gabriel is my 12-year-old son. He'll be 22. And so it's 10 years that he has transitioned from this earth, but we're doing everything we can to allow more families to have more time with their loved ones by placing these defibrillators in public spaces. So the 5K walk is on October 18th, 2025, October 18th. And you can go to gabesheartfoundation.org to learn more. And if you are an organization and you would like to donate funds for a defibrillator to be raffled at the 5K walk, we're going to be raffling off some defibrillators. So if we're able to do that based on your contribution, you can go to gabesheartfoundation.org. We already have a donation, so we're just asking you to match the donation so we can raise enough funds to get multiple defibrillators be able to be raffled. Okay. All right. Any closing comments, Chantrice?
No, thank you for your time. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate you so much for just pouring into me, my first book. It's always good to connect with you, and thank you for everyone for tuning in.
You are amazing, and I'm so honored to host you on today. It's been an honor and a privilege, and I thank you for going through my group training. Anybody else that would like to take the group training to start your own show, if you're an author or a motivational speaker, you're someone that is an entrepreneur, you should have a show. You should have a show. Don't you think, Chantrice?
Yes.
And I think
that's another thing as well, getting my show up. I know we did the training some time ago, but I was so focused on the book, so I was multitasking. But I would love to revamp my life coaching, because I kind of give it out for free. And anybody that called me with advice or anything, I just whatever. But I would love to revamp my life coaching, and I would love to finally start my show or podcast.
And I'm excited about that for you, because I know we were doing the books and everything that we were working on, but and I know you want to be on specific platforms, and you know all of the platforms because you went through the training. So you know exactly what to do to get this up and fully running. But the way that our graduation page works too is any additional trainings that you need, I'll continue to offer those. And then I have special school communities that specifically are as follow-up things for all of our graduates as well.
Okay.
So I'm excited about that. So you gotta go. It's time to rock and roll.
It is. Yep.
No more excuses, only results.
No more. We're in the last quarter of this year. It went by so fast, but yeah, it's time to push. It's really time to push.
But literally the whole world, in my opinion, Chantrice, misses out when we don't get our message out to the world, because there's specific gifts and talents that God's trusting you with. That's your body of work.
Yep.
So I'm excited about it. If any of you are interested in starting your own show as well, make sure you reach out. You can reach out at kimjacobsshow@gmail.com, or you can call 704-962-7161. And we'll make sure you are one of the 5 students that we will be kicking our next training off. All right. I think this has been a wonderful experience. Was there anything you didn't say that you really wanted to say today?
No, I think that was everything.
All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning into this episode. Thank you for being in the studio audience. Let me go back. I see all of your comments that's been coming in, and over on Instagram as well. Thank you all so much for your active participation today here on the Kim Jacobs Show. And we'll see you. I'm actually going to see you for a special episode, but we'll see you again Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. Love you all. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show, and for being in the virtual studio audience. Your presence truly does make a difference, and I look forward to you bringing your friends and family to join you in the virtual studio audience Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I look forward to seeing you, and make it a great day.